is Jets at Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Hello, Jim Toth. What? There's nothing going on.
Training
camp is over for the Winnipeg Jets.
Well.
Final cut's got to come in. Ville Heinola and Walker Dewar, can they clear waivers? Nothing else going on in the world of hockey.
Look at who decided to show up.
Let's just continue
on. Both you and me.
Well, now the real season started, Jim. When
I made fun of you missing most of training camp, I missed the last part of it myself.
Jim, now that the real show can begin, because it's now the regular season or very close to it, now we can bring the big guns out. Yeah.
Veteran moves to just show up.
It's not the preseason anymore. Yeah. I don't even need it. I don't just need a game or whatever to get ready.
My boat is leaking. I'll be there at the end of training camp.
This hour of Jets and Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line and win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from Boston, the Boston Pizza Studio. For gourmet pizza and pasta, bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jim Toth, have you heard of this guy named Connor Mac? Is it McDavid or Mac David? Is it McDavid or Mac David?
I don't know. Is that the ginger?
I think he might be, yeah.
And I can say that because I have ginger friends who love being called ginger.
Yeah. It's a good thing you classified that.
Yeah,
so
one doesn't mind at all. He's like, I used to say that to Corey Schneider. Well, I didn't. His teammates did. And he's like, I don't mind. I am ginger. I like it.
Connor McDavid. Okay, listen, training camp. There's lots to get to and all on waivers, as I mentioned there. I want to get your thoughts on training camp as a whole, all the injuries and all that. And we're heading into October. It's a very important set of games coming up for the Winnipeg Jets too. And they still have a cut left to be made in the forward group. But of course, I mean, Connor McDavid, this is the big news, 2-year contract with an AAV of 2.5. Jim Toth, I have a lot of thoughts on this. This just coming down. I mean, I think Elliot Friedman was the first one to break that there was something coming up.
Well, here, I'll tell you this. While you were away,
go ahead.
Before the preseason game against the Oilers, or one of them, Bob Stauffer joined us here on the show, and he said that Connor will set the price, and he's not going anywhere. He's not going to play out this year, but he will sign a short-term 2 or 3 year deal. That was from Bob Stauffer on the Oilers broadcast, and that was over a week ago. And here we are. It's a 2-year deal. I am a little surprised at this.
Why? I'm a lot surprised. You're
actually upset, right?
Listen, okay, here we go. Cam hates the Oilers. Fine. Just attach that to this. Because it happens to be true as well. But this is, if you're an Oilers fan, this is fantastic. You could not hope, well, if this was a long-term $12.5 million deal, that's obviously the that would be the cat's behind on this. This is ridiculous that he took this 12.5 on a short-term contract, Jim. This is insane that he did this. I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. The NHLPA, I'm certain, has a lot to say about this.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. In a lot of ways, and listen, Connor McDavid doesn't care. He wants to win. This is more evident than ever before with the contract that he just took for the Edmonton Oilers.
Are you as upset when Sidney Crosby re-signs for 8.7 over and over and over again, knowing that his first time, $8 million was like right on par? Not for maybe Crosby, but for a guy that was like...
That's a great question. Crosby's already got 3 cups. Crosby's a veteran. He's how old now? How old is Sidney Crosby?
38.
38. Okay, so that's...
But he is historically, when he should have been making $9, $10, $11 million, signed for 8.7.
McDavid's in his prime. He's 28 years old. At the end of this contract... See, McDavid doesn't need money. That's the thing. And is this selfless to the Edmonton Oilers and to the city of Edmonton and all the Oilers fans? Beyond reckoning. Beyond reckoning. But it's ridiculous that he took 12.5.
So
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he should be making $14 or $15 million, even on a 2-year extension.
If he was making at par with Leon Draisaitl, I would go okay.
I thought
12 and a half is outrageous.
I thought when Kaprizov signed for 17, even on a 2 or a 3 year deal, he would sign for 17.5 or 18 for 2 years. But he did this last time. The Oilers tried to give him $14 million a year. The Oilers offered him 14 AAV, and he said he had to run the organization again. He had to say, no, I'll take 12.
This is a very fair text message we just got in. You can't be angry with Helly and Scheifele, who signed for 8.5. The context of that is wildly different.
There you go.
Do you agree with that, texter?
Well, yeah, because, I don't know. Is Hellebuck's not.
Okay, no, but is it this steep of a discount? Okay, so.
Yes, it is. He should be making $18 million a year. He should be the highest paid player in the National Hockey League. So when the highest paid player is making 17, you need to be making 17.5 or 18. That's what you should be doing.
So that texter, and it's a very fair comment.
But that's a very fair comment
It's a fair comment, but the discount that Scheifele and Hellebuck took at that time was not that. It was maybe $1 million and a quarter. If we're being honest. Where the prices were for players at that time.
Hellebuck should be 9.5 to 10.
Coming out of the pandemic, it was a discount, but not this steep. This is $7 million.
This is a massive hair. This reminds me.
This is like he took a 33% discount. Hellebuck and Scheifele took 15 at the most. He took a 33% discount.
This reminds me of when I was covering the Kootenay Ice, partly owned at the time by the Niedermeyer brothers, and Scott Niedermeyer took $6 million to stay in Anaheim, and the PA would not leave him alone, is what I was told.
Well, I'm telling you, the PA is upset about this.
They would not leave him alone.
Let's get some thoughts on this. Okay, hey guys, I thought you guys were gonzo, especially because we were back. No, we're back. We didn't.
I'll be honest with you. Thursday, I thought I was gonzo. I was not up to par. I was not feeling well.
Paul here, and I really want to hear from everybody on this, from all sides, because I'm driven by certain things. That's from Paul. Paul says, not everyone's driven by money, guys. He's just a good old boy that wants to play and knows the team needs money to build around him.
That's fine. That's right. And the Hellebuck Scheifele, the Sidney Crosby, if you're happy where you are, if you've already won, which some of these players have not, but this is, I'm stunned he's not made, so I thought with Draisaitl at 14, this is what they did last time. I thought he would make Draisaitl would make 14. I'll take 14.5, and we'll see where we're at in 3 years.
Kevin says that's what a leader does. This one says crazy McJesus is going to clear 45.
Wait a minute. What leader? Because there's a PA going.
Well, yeah.
You're supposed to lead us.
Hey, that's a great point.
You represent us. You're the best player on the planet, and you just took a massive haircut. You're supposed to lead us as players.
It's very true, but
I don't think he's in charge of the PA.
Well, McDavid says I don't. McDavid just told him I don't care. KFC has to sign for 12 at 8 years now. That one from Ralph.
Well, this is
Linda
the other
says
news of
Kyle
the day.
Connor should take note.
So fourth period, our good friend David Pagnotta is reporting the Jets are working on a deal. This is from David Pagnotta that'll range between 12 to 13 million per year. So Kyle Connor, if he makes $12.5 million or 13, will be making more money than Connor McDavid.
Kirill Kaprizov, should he be making 17 and Connor McDavid making 12.5?
No, look, Connor McDavid should be the highest paid player in the National Hockey League. That I don't think there's an argument out there. I don't think somebody can text in or call us or sit there and go, I don't care who your favorite player is or who your team. You know how I feel about Kaprizov. I think he's underrated in top 5 in the league. But nobody should be making more money than Connor McDavid when Connor McDavid's contract is up.
Jim Toth, I know how you feel about Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yes.
You know how I feel about Bryce Harper. The NHL needs someone like Bryce Harper to call Connor McDavid right now and ream him out.
Well, I mean, he stood up in the commissioner's face and said, blah, blah,
in
blah,
MLB,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. Over my whatever, there'll be a salary cap in this league. Well, easy for the guy who's made $100 million since the day he got into the league.
Yes.
On endorsements and everything else. Baseball's different. A lot of people don't know this, Cam, but you have to be 29 years old to make money in baseball. They own you. Like, if you think your rights in the NHL till 27 or 7 years served is weird, look at baseball. if you're not a Bryce Harper or a Vlad Guerrero or an Aaron Judge, and I'm not saying you're grinding out because you're making $200,000 to $300,000 a year, but it takes a long time, long past the average career of a baseball player to make big coin.
Here's Mike. Mike, this might be the text of the day. This one comes from Mike. Mike says, I think it means he's gone after 2 years. Well, he's got one more year, then another.
For sure he is.
If
and he knows his money's going to be there.
If he wins, absolutely. If they win, he can leave. If they don't, after this sacrifice, he can leave. Wonder if McDavid and Edmonton have an understanding that he will get crazy money in 2 years or he leaves.
So here's two things I do know. He wants to win in Edmonton.
Correct.
He wants to be in Edmonton. This isn't I want to win a cup here and then I'm gone. But this is the other side of the power that Connor McDavid has. He took a pay cut. He helped you help yourself. And I'm not kidding. They wanted to give him $14 million last contract. He said, I'll take 12.5 and put a team around me. I want to win. So he's doing it again. So if in 3 years from now he bolts and makes $5 million on a contender, I don't blame him, and Edmonton should go, we're sorry, we screwed this up.
Well, it's in the Oilers' court now. You cannot ask McDavid to do more than what he's done.
This is the story of this.
You cannot ask him to do more.
We're going to focus on the 12.5 and the term. Is there a GM with more pressure on him now?
Oh, God. Jim, this drives me crazy. This drives me totally
It's wild,
crazy.
man. But like I said, Bob Stauffer said it'll be a 2 or 3 year deal.
You know what?
We'll see where they're at.
Good.
They now have 10 pending UFAs at the end of this season.
I'm going to say this, good for Oilers fans, man. Because listen, McDavid, he did everything he possibly could to help this team.
To the texter's point, Connor Hellebuck, Mark Scheifele did the same thing.
Not to this extent.
Not to this extent,
no.
Cam, but
I don't even think they're comparable.
Look, a year later, they signed those a year in advance, 8.5. But if they wait a year and go to free agency, Connor Hellebuck's making $10 million.
Shesterkin did not sign his contract yet at that point.
No, but he would have had another Vezina under him.
Kirill Kaprizov had just signed his contract for $17 million.
Let me put it to you this way. How much would the Oilers pay Connor Hellebuck on the open market?
That's a great question.
And people are going to say, oh, they couldn't afford it. You find a way. If you're a goalie away, so he would have been looking at 10 to 12 million, and he took 8.5.
Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. Come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15.
What does Kyle Connor get?
At BP. That's the question. Hey,
this
is what we're going to ask. Murat Ates is going to be joining us from The Athletic right after 12:30.
Tell me that.
We're going to get into this.
Tell me right now. No, wait, tell me that.
We got Ville Heinola is on waivers. We're going to find out at 1 o'clock.
Waivers. I'm not sure about this.
At 1 o'clock. I mean, there's still one more cut to be done on the forward group.
Chibrikov has a one-way, so he's on this team next year.
Yeah.
He's on it now. The Perfetti injury, I'll tell you this right now before we go any further, and I know we got a break. This is bigger than people think, and for two reasons. I was not looking for Jonathan Toews to make Perfetti great. I was not looking for Gustav Nyquist to help Perfetti evolve. I was looking for Perfetti to help those older guys be aligned together. I think this is trouble.
We'll be right back. Let's go back to when Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele signed that 8.5. And they signed it at a discount. There's no doubt about that. It is such a drastic discount. It's like those guys at that moment with the dollars that were being thrown around, coming out of the pandemic, flat cap, all that stuff. It's like they signed for like $7 million.
So I believe if Mark Scheifele would have gone to free agency, and we know what we know after that final year.
Yes.
I believe he would have made 9.5. I don't think he would get to 10, but somebody like Boston or somebody would give him 9.5.
Absolutely.
I believe Connor Hellebuck would have offers of 10 to 12 and probably settle at 10 somewhere that he thought he could win, New Jersey or something. Now, New Jersey couldn't swing it, couldn't even fit his 6 under.
No.
But that's what I believe. So they took probably, on average, $2 million haircut.
What does Murat Ates have to say about all this?
Do you buy in, although good for him, he wants to win?
Well, absolutely. There's a part of me that feels that way. Like, man, what a victory for the team.
But you're right. The PA is not happy.
But the fact that he took this money is ridiculous.
Logan Cooley in Utah just turned down 77 on an 8-year deal.
One part of my mind says, wow, good for him. You know, he wants to win absolutely. The other side is like saying, come on, dude. Like, that's ridiculous.
And
that
real quick, you're right.
And
He's not Kaprizov, but Kaprizov isn't getting national telecommunication company commercials.
Right, yeah.
He's getting state of Minnesota commercial endorsements.
It's definitely a part to play.
He's not
We got to
getting
go. We got to go. We'll be right back.
national endorsements.
Brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line to win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Very happy to have Murat Ates, Jets writer over at The Athletic, on the program today. I think it's very, very special to have him on and get his thoughts on the Connor McDavid deal. First of all, hello, Murat. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Seasons feel like they changed today in Winnipeg, just a little chillier, so I'm ready for hockey now.
Absolutely. What's your initial thoughts? See, Murat, I'll be honest leading into this. I'm of two minds when I look at this deal. I think it's almost at a point, to me, it's outrageous that Connor McDavid has taken a 2-year deal at 12.5. Right? There's a part of me that feels like, wow, that is it's ridiculous that he took that little for his services over the next 2 years. And the other part of me feels like, good for him. He wants to win, absolutely, without a doubt. Good for the fans, the Oilers fans, good for the city of Edmonton and all that. Where do you stand on this?
Well, I think it's just a testament to Edmonton not having been able to win a Stanley Cup in the 10 years of Connor McDavid's tenure. I mean, he wants to be one of these generational players, I think. I think he wants to go down with these, the Sidney Crosbys of the world, who were able to be drafted, be the superstar, win a Stanley Cup, and bring it home to the place that raised you, which Edmonton really has for the last 10 years. But there's a real deadline now. This year, plus 2 more on that extension, the Oilers haven't been able to build quite enough to get over that hump and win the Cup, though back-to-back finals is a great look. So I think Connor McDavid has given the Oilers tons of cap space to work with by taking the deal that he has. He's also put a deadline on the table, and I think, without knowing him or that he's said this, I think that it's reasonable to think this is their last chance to build a winner while he's still around.
Do you think the PA will be upset?
Some members often do, right? Like when Sidney Crosby used to sign those $8.7 million year AAV deals, and oh, how cute, 8.7, that's his jersey number 87. Well, that for a little while artificially kept other star players' money low. It was harder to justify, hey, I should get 9. Well, look at Sidney Crosby over there. And then a couple years went by and they just stopped using Crosby as a comparable in contract negotiations. I think McDavid is already there. At 12.5, I don't think Kyle Connor is going to be able to, I don't think that there's going to be a real issue for Kyle Connor's contract there. If he asks for 12, they're not going to say, no, that's impossible, because that's most of McDavid. I think everybody understands his is a unique situation.
Okay. Well, good stuff there.
Go ahead. What do you think Kyle Connor comes in at?
I think it's about 12, if I had to guess here and now. Lots of structural details we can get into if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but I think that that's the sort of range, and it would immediately make him Winnipeg's highest-paid player, while obviously falling short of the McDavid and Kaprizov deals.
What word would you use to describe the training camp that the Winnipeg Jets have just wrapped up?
Injury-filled, if I can use a hyphenated word.
Yeah, I'll let you. Yes, hold on, let me check the rule book. Yes, you are allowed to use that.
A few judges ruling in my favor. I think, there have been surprises on the injury front and lack of surprise. Adam Lowry's surgery, we knew that had happened, and okay, he's targeting an early November return. That's going to impact the Jets' success early. Dylan Samberg breaking his wrist on just a freak accident play. I think he hit it on the stanchion as he got hit. That is going to have some immediate impact for the Jets. Top 4 defenseman, important piece of their PK. That's going to hurt. And then Cole Perfetti catching an edge on his way into a hit, or possibly right after it, and then now a high ankle sprain. These are some really important Winnipeg Jets that won't be at their best until, I don't know, midway through the year, depending on how long it takes to get them back up and running once they're healthy, that's a problem. It's also opportunity, and I guess we can pivot to celebrate players like Nikita Chibrikov, who appear to have won jobs, if that's the route.
Yeah, let's get into that. And Chibrikov, and I was listening to the post-game show on Friday here on 680 CJOB Murat, and I thought Christian O'Mal and John Shannon and Kelly Moore had an interesting debate, and John brought it up. He's like, the Jet, I get it, there's no room, but the Jets with Lamberts and the Chibrikovs and stuff kind of have to find some room here, because you can't let, say Lambert doesn't make it this year, and I brought this up on my own while I was listening. If, say, Nyquist has a good bounce back year and gets 60 points, you're not re-signing him? Yes, you are, right? And if Toews, has a decent 45, 50-point season, looks good there, you're going to re-sign him. Do the Jets need to, I know it's win now, but start finding room for these guys other than injuries, or deal them?
Well, I think if they were at just another level of ability, I think that they'd be making the Jets' choices for them.
Right.
I don't think that Brad Lambert, Nikita Chibrikov are the Kyle Connor, Nikolai Ehlers, Patrick Laine generation of Jets prospects. And it creates this awkward situation, right? Like, your question is a great one. Should they make room in case an extended NHL runway can help turn these guys into productive middle six players? Sure, you'd have to accept some ups and downs as they made the transition, or do they need to just scream their way onto the roster by being so good in the AHL or otherwise to leave the Jets without a choice? Chibrikov's chance comes from injury. It looks like he's going to be plug and play on that second line with Toews and Nyquist. And I think that Arneal wants to be able to use him on the power play as well. Okay, great. Brad Lambert, though, last year you would have expected a lot more offense from him, even on a struggling Moose team based on his offensive pedigree. It might make more sense to me that he goes down to the Manitoba Moose and just tears the cover off the ball, so to speak, having a really great year for a much deeper version of that team.
How do you balance growth? When you look at the Winnipeg Jets and where they're at, like, listen, they're not in development mode. They're not looking to give prospects ice time to improve their game at the NHL level. This team is poised and has a real opportunity to win the Stanley Cup, and they are one of the favorites to end this season, in June by lifting it, if things go according to their own plans. How do you balance this situation with these prospects and giving them those opportunities while at the same time developing them? Is it even possible?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. For me, I think the Jets have prioritized veterans, and one of their strengths may be finding those, jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife veteran wingers like Anito Niederreiter, Vladislav Nemesnikov will be playing at center, even Nyquist and his creativity in the offensive zone, Alex Iafallo as well. Theoretically, those players could be replaced by a Brad Lambert or a Nikita Chibrikov. You would lose a lot of the veteran savvy, the defensive play, some of that impact, and you'd gain some long-term potential. With the Jets in a win-now mode, I don't think that's on the table at all. I think that those players really have to steal those jobs, and that's not necessarily happening. And the other side for me on the development question is, are there still lessons to be learned at the AHL level? And, I mentioned Lambert a second ago, so I'll use him as an example. Mm-hmm. I think there are lessons at the AHL level. He beats people with speed at that level and in the NHL, but one thing that he hasn't had a lot of success doing is then turning that speed into chances in the middle of the ice. He can curl to the outside a little bit, and that happens in the AHL too. I still think that there's some meat on the bone in terms of lessons that he can learn at that level. And, hey, maybe by the end of the day, the Jets have kept him, and now he's going to take his next steps here. But I just think that there's still learning left to do.
Yeah, and I wasn't arguing for Lambert to make the team, but I thought it was an interesting discussion on Friday, just the idea that, you win now, you built to this point, but you also, you don't want to just have careers go by the wayside just because you've built such a great team. It's a fascinating debate. Murat, I'm really, I think this Perfetti start is ominous. They were already out Lowry. I was not looking for Jonathan Toews to come in and propel Perfetti to 80 points. I was not looking for Nyquist to come in and get Perfetti to do this. I was looking at Perfetti to help get that line going and be some kind of the young scorer that would help some veterans find their games again. Was I off base on that? Like, I think this not having Perfetti is ominous.
Well, I think it'll hurt, to be sure. I think that he was definitely one of those players who you size up coming into the year and you say, this is one of the best opportunities for a breakout season that you can find. And that's not just on the Winnipeg Jets, that's league-wide. Stepping into this top six role, that line with Nemesnikov, sometimes it was the third line last year, sometimes it was the second line. I think Toews' line will be the second line. So there were minutes there. There's the top power play as well that Perfetti was practicing at and looking great at. He'd scored on it last year when Nikolai Ehlers was hurt. There are reasons to think that Perfetti, just normal development, irrespective of what levels Toews and Nyquist could get to, would be looking at 60 to 70 points. And then, best case scenario of Toews, which I think is a little ambitious, you could go even beyond that. All to say, he was in a great spot. He doubled down on it this summer. He had a great summer of training. He looked good in camp. He created offense in the preseason games, and then a freak accident to take his ankle out of the picture. And high ankle sprains are tough to come back from. So, yes, that is ominous, especially because he's the young one who's supposed to be able to stay healthy. We know Toews is coming from a long way back. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot on this team until he's ready to go again and then take his shot at that breakout year.
Ville Heinola will find out in just I think under 20 minutes here if he is going to be clearing waivers and is going to be assigned to the Manitoba Moose or if he's going to find himself in another organization here in the National Hockey League. Is this a mismanaged asset by the Winnipeg Jets? And who does this blame rest on that this has been? What if you're putting a first round pick on waivers after 50 plus games of NHL experience? I mean, things didn't work out. That's clear. Where do you think the blame rests on this, Murat?
Well, I think that he's been in the system for, I guess it would be 6 years at this stage, and that blame can be shared on all parties. The first thing for me to recognize is that Heinola isn't an automatic surefire NHL player. There are warts to his game. He is undersized. He's not quite so fast that he can dominate a game purely in a skill element. He does have good vision, good puck movement. He can be meaner than you'd expect for his size, but he's not ending plays in the defensive zone just because he decides to because he's so strong. There are warts there, and maybe he's one of these tweeners that we talk about, really great in the AHL, not an NHL player. At the same time, there have been multiple moments in his development where you'd think the Jets could have handled it better. At least I do. I remember the COVID year where he spent a month on the Jets taxi squad and wasn't returned to the Moose despite a couple of opportunities to do that. So he went over a month without playing at either level, in either league, at a really key developmental time. He's also been injured, which is nobody's fault. We're not blaming the Jets or Heinola for the ankle injuries that he had. So a lot of things haven't gone right leading to this moment, and I think both parties can be involved in that. Here and now, he is not one of Winnipeg's best 7 defensemen, and I don't think that the decision to waive him is automatically catastrophic or should be, maybe it helps the Jets cut ties. Maybe he gets claimed and starts a career somewhere else.
Yeah, I think there's, and I always look at the player too. Like I remember going to watch him play for the Moose. I think the second time he was sent back down, and he looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. But I also give him credit because I thought last year, maybe 2.5 years ago, and then this year, like he's come around, right? Like he's worked on his game, he's gotten there. But to me, the organization can bear some brunt of this. But if you're a prospect that doesn't make it, and there's things like that, that's on you. And I think he's matured a bit and stuff. I actually wish him well. If he doesn't clear waivers, I hope he has a great year and gets some time with the Jets through injury. And if he is claimed on waivers, I'd like to see what he can do. But again, I thought you nailed it, Murat. I thought, there are some intangibles here, some tangibles that, you look at. And then the injuries, of course, sometimes things just don't work out.
Yeah, when he started, the seas cleared for him when he was 18 years old. He wasn't meant to make the Jets that year. But then a couple of UFA signings elsewhere. Dustin Byfuglien departs the team, and then eventually the NHL. Josh Morrissey gets hurt. Kulikov was hurt. Nathan Beaulieu was hurt. And all of a sudden, he's playing big minutes against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he's scoring his first NHL goal at 18 years old. Well, it might have seemed like he was on a rocket ship at that point to real NHL stardom someday. That was too soon. And then to your point earlier, Jim, about, hey, well, is there a downside to winning now over development? He was one of those players that got sort of I don't want to say cast aside, but not a ton of NHL opportunity as the Jets brought in veterans and tried to win now. Had he been elite, he'd probably be in the NHL, but he wasn't, and so that opportunity didn't come to him, and now there might be more to him than Winnipeg will see, but it's not one of those catastrophes. It's just one of those sadder stories and maybe more common in the NHL than we like to think.
And Hayden Fleury got a deal at 29, so
yeah,
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, that's for sure. Murat Ates, Jets writer with The Athletic. Murat, thanks so much. Really appreciate you jumping on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, enjoy the start of the season, Murat. We'll have you back for sure, but great stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of content out this weekend, too, so read it.
No, definitely go ahead and read his stuff.
I was not bored reading his stuff, I'll tell you that.
Never bored.
Really good stuff.
We got to take a break. We'll come back. Miss your chance to get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon hotline open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. Come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main, side, and ice cold drink for only $15. Only at BP. Do you know how many power plays the Florida Panthers had over the weekend against the Tampa Bay Lightning?
They need to shorten the preseason when that stuff happens.
Okay.
And you know me, I don't mind that.
Now, how many penalties were doled out? How many power plays did the Panthers have? And how many power plays did they score on? I'll tell you when we come back.
Do they need to fix their man advantage?
Well, Jim, the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning, 65 penalties were doled out. 29 to the Panthers and 36 to the Lightning over that 7-0 game down in Florida at a preseason. The Panthers had 20 power plays over that, and they had... how
many did they score on?
6.
That's an awful power play. You got to work on that.
Yeah, it's only running at 30%. That's total horse hockey.
Terrible. Look, this is why the preseason's too long, is when things like that happen. I really, two of my favorite coaches in the National Hockey League are John Cooper, probably my favorite of all time, and Paul Maurice. But this is two different guys, right? And the fact that a guy that was kicked out came back and played is asinine. You got to stop games like that. And you made the point during the break, I don't know if you can or what the NHL would do, but do you not walk down the hall, not like John Tortorella in Vancouver, but do you not walk down the hall and go, do you want to end this?
And this will never be happening. I'm kind of saying this tongue-in-cheek jokingly, but there almost needs to be like a white flag that the general managers have, and they just throw it on the ice and say, that's it, we're done. This is ridiculous.
Now, if this was the regular season, I'd be all for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a rivalry. They don't like each other. They've taken cheap shots on each other and stuff. I'm all about this rivalry. But I would have ended that game after 2 periods. I'm like, what are we doing here? Somebody's going to get hurt. And now you could say the coaches could tell their guys, hey, stop it and just play hockey. But then you go out there and somebody sticks you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just call it.
Totally degenerated. I mean, it wasn't even a hockey.
And I like this stuff. Like I said, if it was a regular season game, I'd be like, man, this is a great rivalry.
How quick did the penalties start? Like, it stopped as soon as those first penalties started coming in. It wasn't even a hockey game anymore.
No.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But congratulations to the Florida Panthers. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. What did Paul Maurice one time say? No, it's just an honor to be out there with them today.
Yeah, it's just an honor to be out there on the ice with them.
Yeah, with the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, with the Minnesota Wild.
Maybe
today.
Exactly.
I look for more Maurice.
Thank you very much, Jared Fortier, for producing the show. That's it for me.
A lot of big week. Preview the season, preview the Jets.
Yeah, we're going to start that tomorrow.
See if Ville clears waivers.
All right, see you.